Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark. What is it? Spring movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark spring movies.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark spring movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark. It's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody. It is
boy.
great to be here today.
Today.
Guys, we
Brandon just skipped.
we did it. We did it.
Tuesday morning, we decided to do this one live. It's
We
6 a.m.
survived.
That's right.
We survived the
eclipse.
eclipse.
Sure did.
And again, no rapture, which is just
Starting to believe maybe not
Man,
what it's all
it's-
cracked up to be.
all these signs and wonders just keep happening.
We can't. So we're not gonna get to do this again until 2044.
Put another one in the science column,
You know what's
everybody.
crazy though? There's one in 2044 that 3 states will see, and then the next year, a full drive-by.
I just feel
really?
like
Yeah.
I was a drive-by. Come on.
Yeah, it's when it
It's
goes
a
through the
stash house.
it's when it goes over the entire continental.
Oh wow.
US.
So
is.
Also
Can't
train, not a drive-by. I was I thought you might. I was told in 2017
Yeah.
that was the last
I
one in
think
my
this
lifetime.
one snuck up. It snuck up on us. It
Did
snuck up
we-
on the school district.
we-
Snuck up on all of them.
We
Which,
all-
by the way, Greenville County, I was already pretty peeved about this whole thing where we're getting 82% totality, but let's just cancel school willy-nilly.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't realize what time the eclipse would be happening and
Yeah.
whatnot. I would have been home with my kid by the time the eclipse
Correct.
even.
Yeah, when it
Well,
reached like peak eclipse.
on Sunday,
yeah.
On Sunday night, I looked it up and I was like,
Eclipse
what
o'clock.
what's going on? It's 2 straight hours, and the most it gets is 86%. Like, it was still a bright, sunshiny day in Greenville.
It was.
You could have been completely fine out there.
Yeah.
And after it happened, I was peeved too. Before then, I was like, you know what, Greenville
No,
County.
I had a great day.
Yeah.
Great day.
Had a great day with my
Great
kids.
day.
Watched a movie. You know, went and hung, just did stuff.
You went hunting?
We went hunting. Yes.
Hunting?
We played some video games. We beat Super Mario Wonder on Switch.
Ooh,
my kid.
congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yep.
My kid, my 7.5-year-old boy Jay, he looked at me as he went to sleep, and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, this is the best video game day of my life." That's what he said.
Hey, did you get the things?
Yeah,
That was nice.
he got
That's
it. Yeah,
great.
yeah. This is the
Great
best
timing,
video
too.
game day of my
Wow.
life. That's exactly
impressive.
right.
He'll never
and we
forget
only
that.
play like 2 hours of video games a week, maybe. So it's a big day. The best video game day of his life.
very big
Brandon.
day.
So thank you, Greenville County.
Now,
I'm back
I
on board.
also encountered an earthquake over the weekend.
You sure
you were.
did.
You were.
I was in
NY.
New York
Real
City.
survivor here.
I was in New York City, and the earthquake happened, and even New Yorkers were taken aback by this, and that's how you know this is a truly special event. And so, I've had a busy couple days between
Did
the
you feel
earthquake
it?
and dude.
You did?
Did you feel
Yeah.
the mountains tremble?
I felt the mountains tremble.
Did you know what to do? Did
I-
you run outside in your underwear like you're supposed to?
This
Oh,
was
you're not supposed to do that?
So I was in a 6th floor of an apartment in New York City while this is
I
happening.
think that trash in the
And
underwear. Yeah.
Yes, thank
my
you.
first
Thought
thought was something terrible's happened.
Yes.
Second thought, because of especially where sound was coming from, I thought somebody might be knocking boots above us, but
Obviously,
real hard.
yeah.
My third was Lord's
So
coming back.
normal.
4th earthquake. That's how that
3 was Lord's coming back.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
you said, wait a second, the eclipse is coming. That has to be that
I
one.
know. I know.
This
There's no
can't
way
be
the
it.
rapture happens before
Yeah,
the
no-
event
no
that's
way.
supposed to lead to the rapture.
That's exactly right. That's why it was
Yeah, number 3.
it was so late. And I mean the fact that I was still I don't know how it's all going to happen, but I think I get taken pretty quick. I don't
Yeah.
think
Oh,
I
yeah.
Do
think
you think there's a priority list for the fake rapture?
no. I'm talking like
I think it's like a weakness.
I'm talking like how it's like actually gonna transpire. I think there will be some tremblings of the mountains, but then I'm like I don't know. But I felt like you would know. There'd be some sort of horn of sorts. I don't know.
An alarm,
I
yeah.
think the reason why it wasn't my first is there was no horn.
We should fake
I
rapture
thought
brand one day.
for
we
sure.
should prank TV if he's willing to believe there's a horn coming.
ultimate.
I thought for
prank
sure
we
there'd
could
be a
prank
horn.
TV.
If there was hire Prank TV after
Yes.
that.
Yeah, that would be it. We fake wrapped your brain.
Anytime I hear a horn out in public, I assume
That's the
this
one.
is it.
You start
And then
taking your
it's
You
like-
shoes
gotta stop
off.
sounding horns in public. Everybody thinks they've
I
been
know.
left behind.
Yeah, I know. I went to Papa's and Beer on Sunday, and there was
Shout out.
the funniest trumpet player I've ever heard. He really had a hard time with one of the songs, and it was amazing. So shout out to
Live
that
music
guy.
at
Shout out.
Papa's and Beer. Were you in hell?
Yeah, it was loud. It's loud in
Might
there,
have
man.
rapture.
It's loud in there.
Yeesh.
It's loud in there.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about Blind Date Book Club,
Blind Date
shall
Book
we?
Club.
Blind Date Book
Did you
Club.
sing it over the weekend at all?
I listened to that the whole way here.
That's all. That's
Yeah,
all
the
I can
song-
think of.
What is
song-
it?
The blind
The
date.
song. I think it's Craig Morgan,
Yeah.
Redneck Yacht Club.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it
song.
lines up perfect.
It lines up so perfect.
Yeah.
April 6, 2024
Blind Date Book Club.
is where you could have watched on Philo, of course.
Philo.
Philo.tv/DTH. And it went a little something like this. Meg is running what was, I don't know, her
Stash
mom's book club. Now she co-owns it with her aunt. She's made some big changes since her mom's passed away. Apple Pay, blind date with a book club. That's what they say. She's nervous, though, that she's not going, that her aunt who's coming into town is not going to like all the changes that she made and is going to throw a little bit of a hissy fit. We then meet best-selling author Graham Sterling, who is wanting to do something new in his career. Even though he's supposed to be writing the 8th book in his very popular YA book series, he says, I want to do something new. It's a historical romance is what I want to do. And so he actually has this book written. His agent's like, I don't want any part of this. Meg's being interviewed on the radio and is surprised that the interviewer only wants to talk about the Blind Date Book Club. It is huge. The Blind Date Book Club, everybody's talking about it from around the world. And they're coming to this book club where you blind date and book and stuff. Graham is listening to the interview in the radio, on the radio in the car, and is taken aback when Meg is talking about this book club. He's like, this is exactly what I need. Coincidentally, they end up meeting when somebody asks Meg to take a picture of them. Graham just happens to be there and is like, oh my God, you, me, what? They get a picture taken with each other. He goes to the bookstore. They bump into each other again, and she asked if, he asked her if she would consider reading this book. And she's like, well, if I find the time, I guess maybe I can. And would you also mind maybe putting it into the Blind Date Book Club? And she's like, I don't think that's what I do. That's when he's like, okay, here's the deal. I'm actually, I'm Graham. I'm self-publishing this book. Please give it a shot. And why? Because she decides I'm going to give this a shot because her aunt wants out. And she has to decide, is this what I really want to do? I don't know. She immediately begins to consider going back to become a real estate agent. And, you know, it could be good for her. She and Graham hang out some more, giving him feedback on his book. To thank her, he takes her out to dinner. They have a great time. He walks her home, and they kiss. It's time for the book club where they're all going to talk about Graham's secret book. Now, him and Meg know that he is Graham, but the book is under a pseudonym. And so everyone else,
I'm pseudonym.
everyone else doesn't know that this is written by a famous author,
And they won't know.
they
No way they're finding that out.
they don't like the book. They talk about that this book is trash, etc. And that's unfortunate. And then it comes out, hey guys,
Been there.
you may recognize me. I am Graham, and I actually wrote the book. And now they're like, what is going on here?
Of course
Can I
we
have your
recognize
address? Why did Meg pick this book? Is there some
Can I have your
shenanigans going?
address?
Your autograph and
You're
address.
famous? Can I have your address?
Can I have your address? You guys
Beth
want to
Ann
ask her
McGraw
the
Smith
famous
in the
people you
book.
meet? And they're like questioning like her integrity of the book club. It's like, why'd you actually pick this book? In the heat of the moment, Meg says, you know what? I'm selling the bookshop. Graham realizes that his book is trash, and but has learned some lessons along the way, and he applies those lessons to the 8th installment of the series, which his agent absolutely loved. His agent's like, you know what? Polish that bad boy up. We'll see what we can do with it. Don't give up on your dreams. And after seeing how much the book club and the bookstore is meant to people, Meg decides that she wants to keep it. So Graham surprises her at the bookstore and is like, hey, I told my sister about you. She's a big fan, and I guess if she's a big fan, we should give this a shot. And they're like, yay, let's do that. They kiss, and that, my friends, was Blind Date Book Club. I don't know enough about that melody to sing it.
You'd love it.
Book
I feel like
Club.
you'd
I think
love
you'd
it.
love it. You're a big country music guy.
It's a blind date book club. It's a blind date book club.
That's good, too.
Having a blind date. Reading a book. It's a blind date book club. Drink it. We're going to take a quick break.
Make a country song when he tries. He goes away from it so quickly.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with our 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark.
Okay, not great.
We all were a second late. It was like you couldn't start till he started, and I couldn't start till you
till me,
started.
yeah.
Yes. Till
Somehow I was also late. It's a mystery. We're talking about Blind Date Book Club, the Saturday night Hallmark Channel release. Aaron Krakow, of course. The big movie premiere before the big
Wind
Calls
Calls
the
the
Heart
Heart,
premiere. Good synergy there, I will say. But is it enough to save this movie? Let's find out. It's time for the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. And I will start with you, Brian. What'd you think of the Blind Date Book Club?
Nice use of synergy, first of all.
Thank you.
No, really
Really
nicely
good.
done. Yeah.
I'm synergetic.
Obviously.
No, you lost it.
You put the sin in synergy.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're so happy.
You were
with your
really
thing.
proud of that. It was only okay.
I was cutting the grass the other day, and I remembered the test and testament. I was like, I'm going to call that back sometime.
Test
yeah.
and testimony.
Whatever, sure. And so that worked out great. This, I feel like we were pretty hard on this one in the preview.
Yeah,
I meant because we just
there's a
didn't
better movie
understand.
there.
Yeah, we didn't understand
Hey,
it at all.
Aaron, could you turn off the reactions that just happened again?
They keep going
No,
on.
you're fine. You're fine.
Thumbs up.
And I was like, we had a better. We liked this more when we thought it was a different type of movie, and so I forget where it landed for me, but I ended up really liking this movie, and I felt like the problems we had were like, this sounds like it should be a dating thing. Like they kind
Yeah.
of joked about it in the
They did.
NPR earlier kept bringing it up, and I'm like, all right, so it wasn't just us. Like
And
everybody.
but I will say I kept thinking they know that this would be a better movie if it
Yeah.
was like
Right.
they even know it.
Exactly.
So they joked about it instead of making it.
Right,
Which was weird.
it's
to
a weird
me.
move.
Yes,
Weird
but they
move.
did know it. You're right.
So that I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. The reading community, I feel like it was great ode to readers and to writers.
It was a great ode to readers.
Yeah. Like they did a good job representing.
How much did they owe?
I love that you are speaking for, and I want to get this straight.
the reading and writing
the
community.
reading community.
And the writing
That's
community.
literally most of the developed Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I got
They did
enough.
well by
Yeah.
6 billion of us.
Yeah. They were doing what's right for the 6
I'm
billion
working on
of
being
us.
included in this number, guys.
You're almost
Brand's
there.
gonna get there.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You're almost there. Well, I think
I'm
you're
gonna
included.
I'm going to speak for 75%
Yeah.
of the planet Earth.
Yeah, minimum. So I feel like they did a good job. Like it made me want to be around in the reading community more than I already am. So good job. Like I said,
They gotta get reading community shirts. I think at some point.
you know what I was glad about? They didn't stretch out the lie, his name.
Yeah.
lie.
They didn't. That
Yeah.
was
No,
nice.
I'm not doing that.
Showed a lot of integrity there.
So yeah, and she had some. I feel like she had some stakes here. Her credibility was really at stake.
Ribeye or
Yeah, it was a rare ribeye is where she was at there. So yeah, I ended up liking it more than I expected. I was pleasantly surprised. Had a real good time. Me and the reading community, we all liked it a lot.
You want to speak for all oxygen
Listen,
breathers
I
since you're
guess
over here?
I'm now a part of the reading community because I
Welcome.
also enjoyed this movie.
made it.
I've said it before. I don't think that there's anybody on the network that plays the I like this guy face more than Krakow. She just really does that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this guy. And it's hard not to be like, she's charming. She's charming in this movie. She's charming in all the things that she does. I don't know if I necessarily bought the two of them even by the end of this movie as people that are in strong like with each other, but I was surprised by this movie. I did quite enjoy it. It was a slow paced movie, but it didn't feel boring. It just felt like this is nice. Yeah. It was nice. Much like whatever city it is that they are living in. Nantucket. Yeah. A nice little town. It's nice. It's not boring. It's
very nice.
Nice. Okay.
And that's how I felt about this movie. I quite enjoyed it. Dano?
Right. Yeah, I was kind of into this movie through the first date. I think when they kiss at the end of that first date, I was like, are they making a really quality movie here? And then I realized there was still 32 minutes left in this thing. And then at that point, it kind of shifts gears into a very formulaic, what you expect from Hallmark, and somehow it slows down too. And so the first 60% or so, I was on board with. I like Buckley and Krakow. Normally, I think Robert Buckley is funny first and not usually best chemistry necessarily with the other leads. But in this movie, I actually thought their chemistry was fine, if not really good. That kiss at the end of the first date felt like two grown adults who had just gone on a first date. That made a lot of sense.
You thought it was a good kiss, though?
I thought it was a great kiss. And then at the end of this, after that happens, I felt like the last 32 minutes of this movie was really, really stupid. Just like, you got to find what made you write these 7 YA novels somewhere in you again. And I'm selling the bookstore. No, I'm not. A dumb misunderstanding. The way the bookstore finds out, is he really famous? Is he not? So the last 32 minutes, I kind of hated. The first 45, 50, I was really on board with. All that to say, this crop of movies this year hasn't been great. And so, this, if I'm ranking them, this has to be up there near the top now.
Sure.
Because
definitely.
I think the first 45 or 50 minutes were that strong. And then I liked a lot of what they did. They didn't let the name thing go on too long with her. I thought that was really good. And then I thought the last 30 minutes of this fell completely apart. And that was unfortunate.
And I like that the book sucked. And it wasn't like, hey, it wasn't just
that's
Aaron.
Why it feels.
It wasn't just
that's
Krakow.
Weird feels.
Well, then let's do it. It's time for all the feels.
great.
Dan, kick us off.
Yeah, please.
The fact that they just let this guy who's a professional and is successful just have written a bad book is great. I can't overstate the fact that just doesn't happen in these movies. You don't have somebody who is he's confident, bordering on arrogant. He's good. He knows he's good. He's well-spoken. He's successful at his job. And dude just wrote a bad book. You keep thinking that the savior is coming. No pun intended. No, but there's no horn. There's no horn happening. You think it's going to happen. No, book sucks. It's bad. And
even when the people find out who he is, one of the readers is like, "You're a great writer, not this, but
that's right.
Your other books are great."
And so I appreciated that he just had to figure out a way to be honest with himself and go, you know what, this isn't very good, and that is a level of character and integrity that Hallmark typically does not show. So I really appreciated that.
Brian?
Yeah, mine is sort of tangential to that, and it's
Can't say that here.
Tangential sounds
man.
like it.
It was gentle though. It was
It was super gentle.
It's kind of gentle.
It was somebody.
There's some. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. It was just getting feedback from somebody on something you created was my feels. Him being able to sit with somebody and have them okay, this is exactly what I thought, and he's literally taking notes on her just tearing his work apart, and then he gets to sit there anonymously. Can I say that?
Yes.
And hear people talk about his stuff without knowing it's him, so gloves are off.
Yeah.
That whole
it's like attending your funeral. It's really like a great bit.
I love that. I was so jealous of that.
Hey,
scenario.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on when Brian comes in and gives you feedback on graphics that you're working on?
Do we have to do
there
this
one
here?
there?
Do we have to do this here? You look like you're gonna throw up right now, Aaron.
I'm making a mess of the desk.
You sure are.
So Brian has this knack where I am just about ready to hit download on a graphic that I've been working on pretty much all day. And Brian would be like, so are you thinking of changing this? And I'm like,
Is that a
was it?
placeholder you got up there, or are we gonna add some real stuff? Or
Every time he just comes in, looks at
Just
it
in
for 5
time, that's what
seconds,
they
like,
call me.
oh, I see where you're going, but you're not done yet, right?
But at least he's not just a taker. He's a giver too. He's not one of those people that
That's
just
right.
are like, hey, love me the way I want to be loved,
No.
and I'm just gonna
No,
not
no.
do anything.
That's true.
He practices what he
Yes.
preaches.
Dish it right out.
That's true. Yes.
He dishes it right out.
That's right.
For better or worse.
Mostly worse, yeah.
I love the shot of when she walks inside after the kiss. She goes and leans up
Yeah.
against the wall, and you can see him
see
still
both of them,
outside.
yes.
And it's a really cool way to show both of them and how they're responding in that moment. And I thought that was really, really well done.
it's like a real life both and.
Both, yes.
Yes.
Not it's like a split
One
screen,
of the,
but
one
not
of the
a split
better
screen.
shots we've seen all year.
Yeah, very
really,
cool.
really
How about
good.
this one?
That was decent.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Is it still up there?
Next time, like not.
Wow!
Wow, came all the way back down. I lost it there. Ooh.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the what the Hallmark here on Deck the
Hallmark.
Hallmark.
Come on, Brian.
I was trying to. You jumped way early on that.
Well, I was right with him.
Welcome back, everybody. We're having a good time.
Nope.
I know I'm having a good time. I'm watching this movie on Philo. I'm loving my life. You can watch this episode on Philo. Philo.tv/DTH. Let's get to the what. It is where we share our the moments in this movie that made us go, wait, what? Brian?
Yeah, just real quick. I'm just gonna breeze by it. Someone would definitely recognize his face.
Yes.
Somebody in a bookstore, like somebody at some point.
You can either have him famous enough to recognize or not.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't do both.
You can't. They're just playing roulette with this
Yeah.
thing. Like, oh, don't worry about it. Like his face is on every book.
My thing is he's clearly not famous enough to be mauled in the street because he's
Right.
walking wherever he goes. No one ever bothers him.
Yeah.
So I had a problem with him being recognized at all. That's where I stood on it. But
Yeah.
also, you just can't have it both ways.
Yeah. The reserving spots in a bar can't be a thing. Like in our society.
At the actual bar itself.
At the bar. Like, yes, because
via sign.
you can't do that. Like
Yes. Go ahead.
I just assumed it was because he was a famous author. Like he called.
it shouldn't matter because here's why.
It's Nantucket. It's a small town. They can do
here's
what they want.
The way I understood that was he's a big deal and got a
Yeah.
reservation, which doesn't make sense because no one recognizes
At the
him.
bar.
But he
Right.
decided to do that at the bar, which is
Super public and in front of everybody.
With a reserved sign.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Did he go in there and just
right
put that
reserve-
there?
I knew
Yeah.
exactly where it was. It was unbelievable.
Like
He
I
didn't
am-
talk to anybody at the
Not a word.
the front.
Just right
Yeah.
in.
I think he went there earlier in
Just
the
put those
evening,
down?
put those down, and said, "Hoping for the best."
Like,
hopefully no one moves
The
them.
problem with that is I am anxious enough walking into any like restaurant space where you got to figure out what you're doing. Like at least a bar, I always know.
You know what? You know why that's funny? It's because it's so true.
Dude, everywhere I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know what to do. At least in a bar, like you always know, bars are a free for all. Like,
You know what another good prank TV would be is we
come on.
all decide to go in and do something weird in a restaurant to just see if he does it.
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be
We
a
all
good
go
one.
and just
Yeah,
sit on the
man.
floor,
That'd
or
be
we do
great,
something
man.
like we
I'd be
start
like,
singing a
I'll
Christmas
just be
tree. We just do
outside.
something. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit the head real
I
quick.
love it. Sorry, go ahead.
or we just move this entire office and don't tell him.
I won't know what to do, man. What do I do?
We fire him. It'd
He
be really
actually
funny.
he gets he calls ahead and asks for a blueprint of the establishment before going to it. He's like, "Can I know this might be
I've
weird."
driven to places and there's not been a clear spot to park, and I've just driven home. Like I've done this move where I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. So you walk, like if you walk into a bar, and the bar should be sacred. Like it should always be
First come, first serve.
Yes, and if you walk in and we're reserving them, like what am I gonna do?
If I see that they're reserving
Oh.
bar seats, it is a place that I'm probably not.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So and lobster ice cream, get out of here.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
Just
I wrote down
disgusting.
lobster ice cream.
Get
I don't
outta
want
here.
any part
Lobster
of it.
ice cream is
Nothing.
disgusting.
What
Yes.
I'm trying to in my mouth think about how it would be, and I don't want it to be.
No. No, it's got to be grosser than. What did we have? The hot dog candy canes.
The hot dog, and then we had some sort of jelly bean that was like.
That's
really,
what it has to be worse than that.
Made me throw up just smelling.
So
it.
gross. So that's enough for me.
So he has a good relationship with his sister, and he talks on the phone with her on a regular basis. Does get the thumbs up approval that he needs to date her at the end, but she does a thing where he's on the phone with her, and she's like, "No one's here right now," and he's like, "Well, why don't I go and you can have the night to yourself?" And she's like, "No, but whisper." And then they have a whisper conversation. And I just didn't like it. I just, by and large, didn't enjoy that. Yeah. And I just want to put it on the record. I didn't know it was a thing that I didn't like. I don't like, apparently, hearing two people whisper on TV. I don't want any part of that. And so I just wanted to put it out there in the universe. This radio host is fascinating. Because this radio host is somebody who goes to a bookstore and interviews somebody live on the radio, which is great.
Yeah.
She's also a radio person that does apparently long form, hard hitting journalism.
That's right.
She's like going back, and I'm getting a follow up, but this isn't live anymore. I'm now researching. I've gone from doing the live interviews to now being the person who's doing long form investigative research on bookstores in Nantucket. And she's just a fascinating person to me.
Yeah,
that person exists. No one else in the book club read the book aside from the one couple that was giving the feedback.
100%.
No one after the front row says a thing.
It may have something to do with everybody else being extras, but I'm not convinced that any of them read the book. And it's probably for the best because it was garbage. But Dan, you mentioned that you thought it was a good kiss.
Yeah.
I thought the idea was good.
Okay.
Didn't think it was a good kiss at all. In fact, I have seen spicier kisses in the 1910s with Aaron Craco than right here in this movie. Not spicy, not good, didn't like it.
I thought that kiss was better than the kiss at the end.
Yeah, I didn't think either of them were good.
I thought the kiss at the end was a little suspect.
Listen, I think that's why I had a hard time with the chemistry. I like them when they're talking, and then they start kissing. I'm like, you two don't like each other.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe.
That was my vibe. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I don't like hard kisses, and I don't like bad kisses.
I didn't get that vibe at all, man. But good for you.
Fine.
No.
I'm just viber. And you go.
Once again, you're not speaking for him. You're speaking for the reading community.
That's right.
Okay, just making sure.
Absolutely.
Got it. I don't think they know what National Public Radio is in this movie. They say National Public Radio several times because I can only assume they can't say NPR. That's the best I can figure. NPR does not go live on a random Tuesday. They don't. The structure of this entire movie is built on Robert Buckley's character listening to NPR and catching a live radio broadcast.
Yeah.
No. No. The reason I know that is Brandon and I have a little bit of experience with our local NPR station, and the amount of time they take to make sure everything sounds exactly how they want it to sound is impressive.
Sense of a little hostility there.
No. It's great. They're not going to send.
That was okay, but can we just get one more take?
It's tangentile.
It's tangentile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At best.
We're here for everybody. They're not just the tangentiles.
No, of course.
But the thing is they're not going to send any hosts in there just to freewheel interview somebody live. They're not going to do that. So the fact that Buckley hears it is crazy. My next wait what is a really positive wait what.
Good.
Nantucket is 85% white. That is the actual demographic. We have found in Nantucket the most diverse bookstore Nantucket's ever seen. Yeah. It's unbelievable considering how 8.5 out of every 10 people you see in Nantucket are white. This bookstore is like where everyone that isn't white hangs out in one bookstore. Very, very impressive. It's almost like it was actually Canada. The room where they meet, where Buckley meets his boss. When they first walk in, you see a big picture in the background of his book series, Parachutes and whatever.
Yeah. Hang gliders.
Yeah, whatever it is. Parachutes and hang gliders. Shoots and whatever.
Shoots and ladders.
And I thought it was like on a TV screen
She's
that they
some
were doing
Labradors.
just to like pump him up. And then as they're talking in that boardroom, you see that it's not. They're actual posters, and they cover every wall in there. Why?
It's a big deal.
I understand, but what else are they using that? Is it just the Buckley room?
Yeah,
like
it's
just the room where we put all of the posters from this 7-book series
You know, it'd
in
be
one
funny
room.
if that changed when he wasn't like if they did that
Well,
for
that was
him.
my thing. Is
but
I
it didn't
thought it, but no,
change,
it's but then later we see the room again,
Same thing,
and it
yeah.
is turned into his boss, his agent's office.
Yeah.
His agent now has a desk in there, but it's the same room. So be better there, I guess. At one point, her friend who does recognize Graham Sterling is writing. And Graham comes in and goes, "Are you writing?" And she goes, "Can you call it that if you don't get paid?" Yes. That is more offensive to the writing community than Brian speaking for the reading community.
Wow.
Most writers aren't
I'm
yet
here
paid.
to speak on behalf of them, and they're
Yes,
okay with that.
You would have more cred to speak on behalf of the writing community, I think, than the reading community.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll do that too then.
Yes, it is. I cannot believe that we got to me and no one mentioned that somehow Graham Sterling DoorDashed an open air basket of muffins. He DoorDash delivered in the morning a open air. Those muffins could have been anywhere. I'm not a germaphobe, but if I open my door to someone that's rung the doorbell and left and I don't see him, and there's a basket of muffins with no top on them and no label of where they came from, not eating those muffins, especially if there's a note in calligraphy on top of those muffins.
What kind of muffins?
You're good, depending on the
I'd
chocolate chip.
probably give. Oh, yeah,
100%.
right. Yeah.
You're in.
I
Chocolate
would eat all
blueberry.
It's
yeah.
a basket of open air muffins. You don't know where they came
What if
from.
they're still warm?
You guys are in. What if they're still warm? Yeah.
You're in? Yeah, 3 out of 1.
Yeah,
3
I
out
think
of
we're
4
all
here.
trying the muffins.
Yeah. Okay. Good for you guys. Last but not least,
throwing out the calligraphy.
he is,
If it's coffee cake,
forget about it. You could just inject those with diseases.
yeah, I would eat them. At least I'd die happy.
Last but not least, and this is one that I just was like, I'm trying to forgive and I can't. So his new book is a historical romance. So it takes place in the past and it's a romance. And people keep talking about how they didn't feel the romance. And he finally says, I'm going to give this book another shot. I have to live it first. You cannot live in the past. You can't do it. You cannot live a historically based romance. You can't do that.
I think he meant specifically the romance.
Yes,
part of it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that's what he meant. But that's not what he said, and that's not why the movie was bad.
I thought that too, though.
It was real stupid. Real stupid. The problem was...
What you don't know is he's close to figuring
He's
out
close
time
to
travel.
cracking
He's close.
Of course.
He's
It's
close.
exciting. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I just got to work through it.
Got it right through it.
That's right. It's time for What the Hallmarks Were. We wonder what could have been. Maybe have give some clarity on any questions that we still have. Brian?
Yeah, the one thing that sort of kept taking me out was why was she so worried about going on her own? Like this seemed like this shop was pretty established by now.
Yeah.
Like the place is always bumping.
Packed.
Yes.
For a bookstore? That
Are you
place was
kidding me? All
bumping.
these great events. Like what is the big deal that the aunt wants out? Like you've been in business dozens of years. I don't know. Her mom started it. Like she could easily get a loan to do this on her own if she had to. I can't imagine she would even need to.
Yeah.
So I just was like, what's the big deal? Like this place runs itself at this point, you know?
Runs itself.
What are
Runs
we-
itself.
Blind Date Book Club.
That's what it is.
Blind Date Book Club.
I want to take you guys back to the initial meet cute on the boardwalk or whatever. What was he doing there? Because there's a family.
It's a weird meet cute.
It was a weird meet cute.
So
There's a
many times
family.
you'd be out on
There's
that meet
there's
cute.
a family. There's Aaron Krakow, and this family says, "Can you take a picture?" And he's just kind of like this. Standing there,
Yeah, right
I
there.
don't know what he's doing.
No.
and then
He's
he's.
waiting to get
I
bumped into.
don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Especially because the only reason he is in this town is because he heard an interview on the radio
Live on
with a
NPR.
book club.
Yeah.
Go straight to the book club. Go to the bookstore.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
over there just standing
Correct.
all. Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Would you look at this? Would you look at that? I don't even really know what the Hallmark is other than That was weird,
what are
right?
you looking at up there?
What you looking at there?
What is what that is?
What you looking at there? No, my what the Hallmark is what you looking at.
What you looking at?
Yeah.
What you looking at?
Dan?
Yeah, why can't we pay the child actors in this movie? There is several scenes with Graham Sterling's nieces, and they never talk. And then they're sitting at the table for breakfast the morning that she gets the DoorDash open air basket of muffins.
Delicious looking muffins.
And
yeah.
she's like, "All right, we've got this and this for breakfast," and we've panned over the kids, silent. And you know how kids, when they sit at bar stools,
very well behaved.
notoriously silent. Notoriously, no one makes a sound.
No one does better with bar stools than kids.
That's right. Kids are
That's what they're
amazing.
known for.
Especially you get them to swivel. Kids couldn't be more still and quiet. It is like, man, it's better than video games, really.
You get a couple of them next to each other too.
Oh my gosh, and they don't instigate at all. So then I'm like, these originally is wait, what? These are the quietest kids ever. As soon as she walks outside to retrieve said open air basket of muffins, then we hear audio of kids screaming. Guys, why are we doing that? The kids had to be on set. Like, what was it? Were we that close on budget that these kids had to be there and they couldn't get a line or two? Like to say they were in a movie? It just seemed weird.
Kids
and
are
out of
extras.
place.
Those kids are extras.
Extras.
They're extras.
They're extra.
We did, everybody.
did.
Congratulations. The good news is it's not the last movie of the week because we got a Hannah Swenson Apple movie to talk about, which coincidentally, this movie also talked about apples. Big week for apples.
Big week for apples.
Is it are we in fall harvest already?
Yeah.
No.
Are we double decker of the week?
I guess we could. Are we ready for it? Let's find out. It's time for the Double Decker of the Week. It's where we do the deep dive into the life of one of our double deckers that signed up at BramblejamPlus.com at the double decker tier or higher. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Colleen Sullivan.
Whoa.
Colleen Sullivan.
Great.
That's right.
Wow, that's
Brian,
exciting.
you have been handed the keys to the Google
Keys to the
Plus
castle.
to
That's right.
do this
Last
deep
week,
dive.
couldn't have gone worse.
You walked in.
Try to bring it back.
You walked in today though,
Yeah.
with a bit of a smirk on your face, and I have a
little
feeling it
tangential
has
on my step.
something to do with the Double Decker of the Week.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Colleen up to.
Colleen Sullivan. She has an idea for
Okay.
something
It's amazing.
This
Yes.
is great. She's got an idea,
She's
everybody.
got an idea, and it's a really good idea. It's
Okay.
something that the way she explained it to me, I was part of the focus group.
You
which
were
I
in the
was
focus
super
group.
exciting.
Didn't even mention it to us.
Yeah,
That's
and
unbelievable.
I've been trying to hold this back.
Yeah.
You got paid?
Huh?
You got paid?
Focus group. No, focus group
No,
is
just,
yeah,
I was just
well,
in the
they get
group.
paid to be in focus
Oh,
group.
you get paid for that? Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I also
Brian's
actually
got so
got
much money. He just didn't
actually
even know
got-
the streams of revenue.
I
this
got
guy
some
has.
shares in this business
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
so let's be nice. You know, if you got some little stuff hanging around, you want to put it away, but you don't want to get you don't want.
Give me that example.
You had to write
like-
these. If
give
you
me a
have
quick
some
example of
little
stuff
stuff.
you want to put
What do
away-
you mean little
I
stuff?
have found little stuff is the
Little
easiest
things.
stuff to put away. You just rake it in a drawer.
But you want to take it with you, have it handy.
You just
Put
said
it in
put
a
it away.
bag.
You didn't say take
Yeah,
it
you
with
put it away into something. You don't want to hold it in your hands. You like some coins
get
or
a
some
bag.
goldfish, but you don't want it to get lost in the shuffle.
You get a bag.
So Colleen came up with this product.
You get a bag.
It's a take on a bag.
Is it
It's
like a tiny
tiny little thing, right? The name is important. You'll get it when you say it. That you put stuff in, you take it with you.
I'll
you
get
put
it when I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
You'll
when-
get it.
when
So
Brian
there's
said
no
that-
way that I'll get it until I say it.
No,
You're
no,
gonna
I'll say it. You'll
and I'm not
get
gonna get it.
You're
Okay,
gonna get
I got it. I got
The
it.
one thing she's a little concerned about, little concerned that has it been long enough? Has it been long enough? Let's find out. The name of her product, smallpox.
Ooh.
Just like small little pockets.
Dan, I can see you're struggling with getting it. Go ahead and say it.
Smallpox. I got it. It took a
So
second.
it's what is it?
So Colleen decided
Yeah.
in order to
A
store
long time ago,
little
she
stuff,
had this idea.
she's going to name it after a
Nope.
disease?
No. This was probably before the disease came out that she thought of this idea.
You know what? She had another idea.
Yeah?
It was where two people could share the cost of a rental at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's called COVID. You think
doesn't
that's going
sound
to
as
fly
cool.
or
I
not?
can't wait
Sound
until
is
she comes
good.
out with those
Too
quarter.
soon?
Those
Should we wait until year
That's
3000
what I'm
for that
saying.
one?
The timing is important.
I can't wait
timing
until
is-
she comes up with the quarter-size saltines called quarantines. It's
Yes.
gonna be amazing.
gonna
Colleen,
be
write that down.
unbelievable.
So,
gonna be
like I said, the
unbelievable.
focus group is working, but I feel like it's
Is
been.
it?
I feel
She
like,
came up with a beer
Is it
called
working?
I feel like it's
Verona.
time.
So there's small pockets.
Small pockets,
Yeah.
and the problem, they
That detach from
you
your
need a
person,
lot
or
of
do
them.
they
You
don't-
could Velcro, you could sew them, you do whatever, put them all over.
So
they're
your,
it doesn't
pockets.
come pre-done for you. You have
no, you put them on wherever
to.
you
Colleen,
want
this
them.
sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard.
What's the focus group saying so far? They like it?
It's a little split down the middle.
Where were you
But
on it?
the heavy
Or
hitters.
can you say that?
Since I mean, like I mentioned, I have a little stake
got
in
in
this, so
early.
I'm all in on this smallpox. And unfortunately,
He's all in. Brian
I'm
is
taking-
all in on smallpox.
taking the panda
everybody.
route, and so are
Brian
all of
thinks
us.
the rapture's coming every time anything shakes, and Brian is all in on smallpox.
Yeah,
You heard it here
as
first.
you should be too.
Please like and subscribe.
Thanks, Colleen, for
I didn't
such a
say
great.
I didn't say
Colleen.
anything about the rapture. I just said Jesus is coming back.
People
Don't put
get
word.
ready.
Jesus is coming. Soon we'll be going home. People get ready. Jesus is coming. Take what the world is on.
We'll be
We are.
coming home.
We're gonna be back tomorrow with Wing Calls the Heart, and then Thursday Bad Apple. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hallmark's The Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.